All right, so the John Deere X738. I almost took this out to the woods yesterday. I was going to take the blower off and move these weights, or at least some of the weights, to the front because there's a weight bracket on the front. Once you take this piece off here, this is like a weight bracket. Right in here you can hang those weights on. And then I was going to use my gorilla trailer to pull that wood out of the woods, so I wouldn't have to do it by hand, but I wouldn't be able to haul as much home because I'd be hauling this. And then the more I think about it, I always thought I should really get some 3-point arms put on this thing in a PTO, and then I could be using, it'd be more useful than just basically a lawnmower and snowblower with 4-wheel drive and fuel injection with hydraulic hookups. But that was, when I priced it out at the dealer, he said to put the 3-point arms on and the rear PTO was going to be about $2,000, and I'm like, that just seems like a lot. So now I'm looking at smaller compact tractors here. I guess you'd call them subcompact. So initially I was thinking about going the Kubota road. The dealer down the road from us has this exact model, this L2501, and the price before, I think it's before tax, is $17,900, and that's with a loader tractor. Obviously no rear deck, no mid deck or anything like that. I don't want a mid deck. I still would keep my x738 for lawn mowing. It's an amazing lawnmower. It's really great at snow blowing, but I would imagine it being undersized if you had like a loader on this or anything like that. Even like the 3-point arms. I mean, it's kind of a novelty if you're doing some really small scale stuff. You definitely want to step up into something a little bit bigger, and that's what I'm thinking about doing for using out in the woods. I looked at these Yanmars, which are relatively new. I know Yanmar's been around a while, but they don't, not that I know that they would make tractors. I thought they made a lot of engines for stuff. I know in the Guard we had a Yanmar diesel generator. It was like a 3K, and that thing you could fire up 0 degrees outside with, and you'd pull start it. One pull, there's a decompression switch, and it would pop right off every time. That was an amazing little engine. And I think John Deere used to use, or maybe still does, Yanmar diesel engines in their compacts, subcompacts, or whatever. So anyway, the only thing with all of these loaders is the loader capacity on most of them, I want to say, is somewhere between like 1,200 and 1,500 pounds. That's great, but the machine is super light, so you're definitely going to be sticking money in either like solution in the tires or some sort of weight bracket for the back, or ballast box, or wheel weights, or all of the above, just to get what you want to be able to lift with it. And these aren't cheap, $17,900 for this. I think this 324 was, I want to say 12,000. That was with a loader, not this blade. It looked basically like this, no backhoe on it. And the only difference between these two machines is the 424 uses bigger tires, and I think then just the rear tires are bigger, and that's a $750 basically option is what you're paying for that 424. Otherwise, everything is identical. The lift weight. This one then gains some ground clearance. So I think this one is about 13, is what he was saying. So, but even with these, that's a lot of money to spend on a tractor. The Kubota comparatives to that same size as a Yanmar would be this 2650 and 3350 series diesel 3-cylinder, just like the Yanmar, and those were 24,000, and that's really ridiculous because it's smaller than this Kubota. So, and this one might have some other stuff you might be able to do with it, but it's a much smaller machine, so there again you're going to have issues with lifting and stuff like that. So what I'm going to start with here, my dad's getting his 8N Ford tractor fixed. I'm going to haul that out to the woods because the 8N Ford tractor, one, is much cheaper. You can find those probably about $1,500. I'm using his for nothing. He's got solution in the tires. It's got a 3-point setup on it, and he used to use it back in the day in the 70s for pulling logs and stuff. So, and it's not overly big. Disadvantages: it doesn't have a ton of power, doesn't have a live PTO, there's no hydraulics on it. It's a 6-volt system. It starts hard in the winter. It's a gas. These probably are more fuel efficient, these 3-cylinder diesels. The only thing that would make me slightly nervous about it is using them in cold weather, getting them to run. My uncle had a setup for his larger equipment when it was cold. He took the radiator hoses. He had like a extra set of looked like heater hoses with hydraulic couplers on the end that he would then plug into radiator hoses on the piece of equipment he was trying to start that was diesel that wouldn't start during the winter, and then the truck he would leave run for like an hour or so, and that would circulate the coolant in that large piece of equipment to get that block warm so it would actually start. So, and I know they made a lot of technology with glow plugs and stuff like that, but still, diesels are usually no fun to start when it's cold. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know a lot about the Yanmar. I don't think this has been out very long, but price point compared to the two, this is obviously going to be the cheapest way to go, or least expensive. This, though, I think for the 17.9, you're getting a pretty decent sized machine. And then obviously these I wouldn't even consider after looking at the size of this and what they want. I'm not looking at a John Deere subcompact because they're way expensive. So, but 738 definitely does a nice job cutting lawn, blowing snow, stuff like that. It definitely would be the ultimate lawnmower. I don't think though it hasn't. I mean, I've tried to pull some logs with a chain, smaller stuff, and you're really like pushing that hydro hard, and I don't want to blow the transmission out. So definitely like to step up to something bigger. That 8N Ford, you just put it in first gear, give it some gas, and let the clutch out. Definitely would do a nice job. So, but then again, that 6-volt system doesn't like to start when it's cold either. So, just what I'm thinking. Throw some thoughts. If you got any comments about the Yanmars or anything, any feedback that would help, that would be great. You know, each dealer has their own pitch on why their machine is best. So, all right.